Okay, so I've managed to connect it all up now, and you can see that's how it works. So this will be hanging loose, okay, and it's not too much of an issue for me, because I'll be tucking it in to my jacket, whatever it is I'm riding. Even if I'm riding in the summer, I can tuck it into my summer jacket. Winter, tuck it into my jacket. You know, it's not protruding anywhere. I suppose if other people want to, you can, just like you take the cable out for this, you could probably feed it around somewhere within your helmet and pull it out of a little crevice somewhere. But I just put a little hole in, and that serves me quite happily. Now, I'm not sure if I can record and do it at the same time, but that's what it essentially would look like. So it's all powered up from there to here, okay, that's running fine. And then this just clips in, male and female, clips in, nice tight connection, and that's it. But let me turn it on and turn it off, and then that way you'll be able to hear how strong it is. And that's disconnected now, okay, so there's no sound coming from that. The sound that you're going to hear is coming just from the earphones. So turn it off.
Interphone powering down.
You hear that? And that's how strong it is. I mean, the sound quality is incredible, because these serve obviously as plugs, but also as audio plugs. So the quality that's in your ear, and because it's sitting right next to your drum, firstly, it's crystal clear.
Battery high. Interphone ready. Intercom connected to phone.
There you go. And then you can adjust the volume. Let's see if it's...
Setup.
Okay.
Maximum volume. Setup. 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 Setup.
There you go. So you can adjust the volume on the unit.
Setup. Maximum volume.
And then obviously you can also adjust the volume off your device. So your mobile phone calls, your audio, and anything else that you're listening to, your media, you can adjust that as well directly off your phone. So for me, coming back to the first point that we were talking about, simply buying a unit, you know, is one thing, but actually making effective use of it is a completely different thing. So when I bought this, I paid over £100 for it, 120, 130 pounds for it for a single unit. When I got it, I put it into my helmet, which was a K-Berg at the time, K-Berg Duke. I've still got that open face helmet. And I put the speakers into my helmet, fiddled about with them, trying to find the location, adjusting them, and, you know, trying to get them in the right place. And then sometimes, you know, they push up against your ear if they're not in the right place, and it's painful. And it was such a ball ache. I ended up, you know, I went out on a ride once, and I was doing about 30 mile per hour, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's also got an Interphone. We bought the Interphones together. We were paired up together, and he was riding and I was riding, and we were talking, and we thought, bloody hell, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Why didn't we get these earlier? But then when we hit the dual carriageway, it started to go 40, 50. You know, it started becoming increasingly difficult to hear the other rider. And then when you get to motorway speed, forget about it. It's just impossible. You can't hear anything. The wind noise, the noise from the engine, you've got your earplugs in, it drowns everything out. But it also drowns out the sound of this. So these speakers, firstly, in my opinion, absolutely rubbish. You know, if you're going to pot around 30 miles per hour, you know, all day long, it's fine. But if you're going to go any more than that, then you need to start thinking about, right, okay, I've got this. What about my lid? Okay, so I had I bought a K-Berg Duke for about £120. 5-star rated, but the sound quality isn't great. The noise reduction quality isn't great. So I ended up buying this for £320. The Shoei equivalent to the XR11. So I paid £330 for £329. £330 for my helmet, over £100 for my unit, £120 for my unit. So I'm roughly at about £450 I've spent. And I'm still, even with the Shui, with all the kind of neck curtains that it's got and the chin guard and all of these kind of things that it's got, the sound quality was still poor. You could probably push it up to about 60, 70, right? But after 70, at about 70, you're struggling to hear. After 70, forget about it. So, we go out to Germany, we go to Belgium, we go to France, on the long distance rides that we have. And trying to listen to your partner at that speed is impossible. You can't do it. So I spent £300, over £300 on a helmet. Then I spent, obviously I needed the unit, but I was told at the time that I bought that this is one of the best ones. The sound quality is going to be great. A friend of mine goes, it's the best thing since sliced bread. You'll never have any issues with it. I ride up to 100 mile per hour. I can still hear everything clearly, and blah, 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 all the rest of it. Committed to it like an idiot, and found out, well, actually, you know what? That's not the case. This isn't the world's best unit. The speakers aren't great. It depends upon your helmet. So if anybody's looking at buying this or going down the line of getting an intercom unit, understand that there is a lot of cost involved. Okay, you're going to have a decent helmet. Now, the other option is if you don't decide to go for a decent helmet, go for these. Okay, so you can have the equivalent of the K-Berg, for argument's sake. You spend £120, £130 on a lid that's safe, and you spend £100 on an intercom unit, and then you spend 180 to £200 on a set of earplugs. Okay, so when I look at mine, there's about £180 here, £330 here, £120 here. Just here's £300, over £600 I've spent just trying to get decent sound. Now, had I done it the other way around, I probably would have gone for these the first time round, okay, and got myself a helmet which is good safety quality, but not necessarily, the top end in terms of or the higher end, middle to higher end in terms of cost. So you can get some really good safety helmets, which probably haven't got the noise protection qualities that this Shui's got, but at a third of the price. So £100, you could get a really good helmet, really safe. Whereas you're spending £330, whether it's the Schuberth or whether it's the K-Berg, the Shui. It's gonna cost you a premium. And if you go down the lines of buying these, you've got custom made plugs. You've got the speakers within the plugs, and now you've got the opportunity to wire them in to the circuit within this, still retain use of your microphone, and get a really good intercom experience with a reasonably priced helmet. So if anybody's out there looking to do this kind of thing, I would probably advise them to buy a reasonably priced helmet, not an expensive one, a reasonably priced helmet, obviously with a good safety quality and safety ratings, and then definitely go down the lines of getting one of these or getting a pair of them. They're £180, and they take mine took about 9 weeks to get to me from the time that they took the impressions and the molds of my ear. But in the long run, they're going to be great. Because the sound quality is so much better, and what's the point of having an intercom if you can't bloody use it when you're on your motorbike? But anyway, yeah. So those are my thoughts. What I'm going to do now with this is I'm going to put this. Oh, flash has been turned off. So I'm going to put this back into the helmet there. Sorry, the flash has gone off. Let me see if I can get it back on. Sorry, it's not having it. Okay, so I'm going to put this unit, back into there. I've got myself some sticky pads and some gaffer tape, and I'm going to stick this wire into one of the channels in my helmet, tape it down, and then I'm going to put all the padding back in, and the only thing that you'll be able to see afterwards remaining is this cable hanging out, which is exactly what I want, because it allows me to clip it to my Ultimate earphone plugs, and this will then be mounted back onto the side of the helmet. Okay, so that's it. Shui, Interphone and Ultimate ear plugs. Any questions, feel free to ask. Cheers fellas, and ladies as well.